So you are now all going to have a go at fitting a different scenario into that cognitive triangle by thinking about our thoughts, feelings, and behaviours and how they can all be linked together. Okay, so you have this sheet in front of you and I have sent home various different activities. Now, I'm going to ask you that you do 2. If you would like to do more than 2, then by all means, you are more than welcome to do more than 2. I have included a copy of that sheet that you can copy. If you don't have access to a printer, don't worry. You can draw that triangle out onto your piece of paper and write those boxes on yourself, not a problem. So I want you to pick 2 of the scenarios, and for each scenario, I'd like you to use the sheet that's been sent home to you to write down the thoughts, feelings, and behaviours that that person might be experiencing in that card. So pause the video and have a go. So let's reflect on our learning then from this lesson. So turn a negative into a positive. Okay, it's very easy to be more of a negative person than a positive person. I know that it's not every day that I woke up and I am the most positive person in the world. And sometimes I have to sit and think to myself, well, I need to be careful because if I go into school feeling negative and I'm grumpy and the kids don't like me when I'm at school, they're not going to have a very good day of learning. And you'll be surprised at how easily it is to pick up on that behaviour. If I'm a negative person, that's going to put you guys in a negative frame of mind. And nobody's going to have a good day or learn very much if somebody is in a negative mood. So let's think about this child in the class assembly, okay? Now with your partner, or if you're on your own, I want you to discuss the thoughts, feelings and behaviour that could all be positive instead of negative, okay? So we've got his thoughts here that I really can't speak in class assembly today. I won't join in the assembly today and I feel nervous and sick. So I'd like to draw that triangle out onto your paper. I want you to see if you can change those thoughts, feelings and behaviours into positive thoughts. So pause the video and have a go. Okay, so if we were to think about our thoughts, so I really can't speak in the class assembly today. This thought process it might be, well, I have to speak in the class assembly today, so I'm going to have to try really hard to be very calm and to have a go. So although I might not still be happy about it, I might be thinking to myself, well, I'm going to have a go at speaking in our class assembly today. So the behaviour that's going to be happening there is rather than I won't join in with the assembly today, it'll be, well, I'm going to stand on the stage at the end and I'm going to hold my script. Now, it might even be a case of he doesn't speak at all. And it might be, say, rather than not joining in, you might just stand on the stage. So at least you're there and you're participating. Now we need to change those feelings around, and sometimes it's important to remember that nervousness sometimes is a good thing. That means that you're putting a bit of pressure on yourself to make sure that you achieve well and you do really, really good. So I'm going to keep that one there and go, well, I feel nervous, but it's okay to feel nervous. I need to remind myself that it's okay to feel nervous, especially as this is something brand new to me, so I'm going to give it a go. So it's important to try and change those negatives into positives. And sometimes those positives aren't, well, I'm amazing at speaking in class, I'm going to take over the whole lesson. And then it might be, well, I'm going to stand at the front of the stage and I'm going to dance and prance around and I'm going to be centre stage so the whole audience can see me. And as for feelings, well, I'm amazing. I am the best person at speaking on stage. Now, some of you might be feeling like that. I've seen all of your acting skills and I've seen you all speak in front of class. And sometimes you do a better job than me. So you put me to shame, year 5. But equally, it is okay to still have those negative thoughts. Even if they're not the most positive thoughts that you turn them into, it's a start. That is the whole point of building your confidence. So I might say, well, I don't know how to do this online learning. This is awful. And I tell you what, my very first lesson I did, I was like, oh my goodness, I can see my face. I've made lots of mistakes. I'm going to have to start my video all over again. It's going to take me forever to do this work. The children aren't going to get it. They're not going to understand and it's all going to go horribly wrong. But if I did that, you wouldn't have any lessons online. So I had to sit there and think to myself, well, okay, so this is new, but that's fine. I'm going to give it a go and I'm going to have a practice. But I've only made a couple of mistakes and you know what? That's okay. Miss Humphrey stands in front of class and makes mistakes all the time. I mean, shh, don't tell anyone. So that's okay, but I'm going to give it a go. So I gave it a go and did the first video. And then I thought to myself, well, I've had a go and I've done the video. It's made me feel a little bit nervous and I'm a little bit worried it's not going to be very good, but I'm going to send it off anyway. And then, do you know what? I'm going to have another go tomorrow, but I'm going to do something slightly differently this time. Maybe if I do this, it might make my video a bit better and I might feel a bit more confident. And by the time the week's gone on, well, my videos are amazing. I mean, they're not amazing. But yes, they're amazing. Thank you, Year 5. Thank you. So it's all about changing them even into the smallest of positive sentences. So you might be feeling that way at home, maybe about doing your learning, knowing that I'm not there to help you if you're stuck on a maths question. Or maybe you're there with mum or dad or grandma and they don't understand the question. You're thinking, well, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to answer this question. But if you have a go and you sit and you think about it, at least you've had a go. And then when I give you the feedback, well, do you know what? I'll remember that for next time. Rather than thinking, well, I'm not going to do that question, I can't do it. When deep down you know you can do it if you have a go, and it is important to remember that getting it wrong is a good thing. Because if you get it wrong, you then learn how to fix it so that next time you'll know how to get it right. And that's the entire process of learning. So by building that little step and going, well, rather than I can't do it, well, I can do it, but it doesn't have to be perfect, is a good place to start. So, big questions for the lesson. What are your thoughts, feelings and behaviours? So we've looked at our cognitive triangle and how they all affect one of the other and how might they influence other people. So what I would like you to do this week is I'd like you to keep track of any thoughts that you might have. It might be that you have a really positive thought, you're thinking, yes, I've got the best science lesson with Miss Humphrey on Monday morning. Woohoo, I'm excited. And you're up at 6 a.m. doing my videos. If that's you, well done. Miss Humphrey might still be waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, but I'll be with you then later on. But it might be a case where it's a negative one. You're thinking, oh, we're doing multiplying 4-digit numbers into 5-digit numbers. I can't do that. Well, record those down and have a go at drawing your triangle. And you're thinking, right, I've got negative thoughts. What am I thinking? Okay, well, I'm not doing this. I can't do maths. What might I do about this? Well, I'm not going to do that lesson. How might that make you feel? Well, it might make you feel bad. It might make you feel you could be frustrated. What I want you to do is take that opportunity to redraw the triangle and try and turn it into a positive. So your positive thought then might be, well, I've got to do maths today, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to give it a go. Okay? Your behaviours might be, I'm going to start the lesson and see how I get on. I'm going to stop when I get stuck. Your feelings for that might be, well, I'm a little bit apprehensive, a little bit worried because I'm not sure I'm going to fully understand it. But at least I'm having a go. And as we go through the week, you might find that your attitude to those maths lessons, which might get a little bit more difficult, might be a little bit easier to comprehend as we go through the week. So that's your challenge for the week, is to think of a scenario as you go through the week. Anytime that you have a negative or even a positive thought, think about how you might be able to change that, specifically the negative thoughts. If you're stuck or worried about something, map it out, sit and take a step back and think about how you can change that mindset. Okay? So now that you've done all the other activities, that's your only thing to keep an eye on for this week, okay? We will come back and do a further lesson looking at our thoughts and feelings in our PDW lesson next week, okay? Have a lovely weekend, Year 5, and I will see you again bright and early on Monday morning. Good luck.